Hello, and welcome back to Patrol Gripply's Top 5 Most Wanted Space Humans for LEGO Legacy Heroes Unboxed. Now, this is something I decided to split for the space theme into two separate videos because I kind of rank some stuff differently depending on if it has aliens or humans, or if I like the aliens more, because the aliens might have been cool, but the humans were kind of lame, and there was a whole bunch of themes that were newer that had really cool aliens that I kind of liked better than a bunch of the humans from some of the older themes, but some of the older themes had just humans, so I decided to kind of separate them out. Should be kind of fair to some of the older stuff, which didn't have all these like specialized figs that some of the later themes had. I thought this was kind of a nice way to do it, besides just being like new and old. It just depends on which one each one had. So let's go ahead and get on into it with our honorary mentions. First up is Rock Raiders. Apparently LEGO counts it as a space theme, which I guess it technically was because it was on an asteroid, but it feels more like a mining theme, or I guess I put it in the same category. I put Rock Raiders. Not Rock Raiders, that's the same thing, Power Miners. It just felt like, I guess, kind of an older Power Miners, but it also gets the space tag technically, but I don't know, it just doesn't feel enough like a space theme to me for me to really count it in here, even though it is. And I know I counted Vikings and Ninjas for the castle video, but to me, I just don't feel it. Probably wouldn't make this list anyways. No offense to anybody that really likes it, but I just want to kind of mention this here as it would be kind of a core thing for my wanting to do a minor tag in the game. They would definitely be a part of that, but I just kind of don't see it being too much of a space theme personally. Also, another thing to mention is the I think the ADU from ADU is on his chest there from the Alien Conquest line. While we do have Deborah in the game, I think she's kind of cool. I wish we could actually see more of the human stuff, but she's kind of being controlled by Gowell right now. So I kind of wish we could have them, because I thought these were really cool looking, kind of like humans for space theme. There was also one of the few ones kind of really set on Earth, so that was kind of cool too. But I would love to see one of them. Also, I just really like that scientist minifigure. I know it's not like a great representation of the theme because he's just, the scientist, but I think he could be kind of cool. I mean, I think he has a great look, so I wouldn't mind seeing him. Next up, at number 5, we have M-Tron, which I know this one has a couple different ways to spell. Apparently, actually supposed to be a colon there instead of the dash, but I always see it written that way, so that's why I see it. But this was a very interesting thing. I think it replaced kind of Space Police for a little bit and kind of filled that role, but some stuff, I think everywhere besides the United States, had them listed kind of as a sort of fire and rescue and vehicle repair service, but in America they were listed as a mining theme, which I guess kind of makes sense as M-Tron, so nothing to add to my minor tag. They also introduced magnets into this theme to make them a little bit more playable, which I guess also is probably the Magnetron, whatever. But I think they look kind of cool. Always liked the design, always liked the name. I thought they'd be kind of cool. I kind of always thought them maybe a little bit more attacker because they have these cool looking ships, but since they're actually like a repair thing, maybe have them in the game as a kind of like healer. Space could desperately need one. That'd be kind of cool. We'd love to see that little robot there they had from M-Tron also helping out in some form somewhere, but yeah, probably have them be a healer after looking some more stuff up about them. As for the tags, space, kind of it. Maybe techie. They fix vehicles and they have a robot. I don't know, but it's just a space human, basically. Nothing too special there. But I would love to see them in the game somehow. Next up, we have at number 4, Galaxy Squad. Okay, there's 4 teams here, and I found it really hard to pick since I kind of included all of them. Also would love to see the robots. That'd be more of a techie video, because they're all robots. But I think they look all really cool. Love to have them like appear in an attack animation, maybe have them like all appear in Ultimate or something like Power Rangers style, maybe with some of these poses. But for the different teams, I did have to look it up just right before the video. Blue team was strategy and technology and supposedly had the best tech of all the teams. Green team was defense and also artillery. I always thought they were more defensive than just artillery, but they also had some heavy firepower, long range firepower. Orange was all about regular firepower though, and then red was all about speed. So each one of them had like some different things. You see some of the different vehicles on the left. I mean, I tried to pick some of the bigger ones, but lots of them were all the same color, sadly. But they had some really cool different sets there. I think all the figs look pretty cool. The robots, I think, are by far the coolest, but I can see them appearing in some of the different attack animations or something. And I also would love to see these vehicles, maybe even have the robots come in piloting those. But so I definitely have them number 4 because I think they just look really cool. Really like this one. As for tags, of course, space. Blue would probably get techie because they're supposed to be like the one that has the best tech. Although I can almost see all of them getting techie with all the stuff they did with robots and everything. Just a little bit different there. As for what roles they would be, blue would probably be like, I feel like a support with it being a little bit more techie, strategy based. It does some more stuff like that. Green would probably be more defensive based. Tank, because it's all about defense, though with some heavy artillery you might do that, but I feel like that'd be a good way to work in a tank for the human side of the stuff. Orange would probably just be an attacker, and red would probably be an attacker too, or maybe support like boost speed since they're just about going fast, but that's probably what I would give them there. Just pretty straightforward, but I kind of like the theme overall, that they look really cool. Number 3, Roboforce. Now this was one that was only released in America, apparently. It only had 4 total sets, which I'm actually surprised they have 3 different minifigures if they only had 4 total sets, but I think they all look kind of interesting. I would love to see them in this game. They are just like rare and obscure enough. I think they would fit perfectly in this game. There's a little like reference to some of the different things from LEGO's Legacy, especially the sets. They look kind of funky to me. As somebody that's a little bit more of a newer LEGO person, the older school robots, I think it would look so cool to have them in the game. They had 4 different ones. I think the ones like on top, they had like a more orangey red one. Those were supposed to be like police styled vehicles, and the like orangey one, oh no, I think it's supposed to be like green, looks a little more yellow, little bits of orange stuff mixed in. Supposed to be more military styled robots. I think they all look pretty cool, and be kind of interested to see them get brought into the game somehow in like attack animation. But I think the figures look all kind of cool. It'll all probably be techie. All these things, they all piloted giant robots that were piloted or controlled by giant. It wasn't floppy disk. It was like some kind of big control disc, almost like a record. It was a very interesting piece. Old school tech, well not old school tech now, but high tech at the time. Just kind of funky to see how it kind of aged there. And also, the yellow one up top is Chip Nebula. I think he'd be awesome having the game just for that name, Chip Nebula. The other ones also look pretty cool. So for tags, it'd be, of course, techie, space, kind of it. Maybe Justice, because they're supposed to be kind of like a police force. Or they're also a little bit military, so I don't know, maybe throw in Justice, role model, something, because they kind of, you could maybe kind of stretch it there. But yeah, I just think they would look kind of cool in the game. There's just enough, like they have enough character to them, awesome helmets, very interesting builds and sets to take stuff from, and just kind of obscure make people, what's that? Oh, that's interesting. I know I was when I first saw them. Next up, we have Mars Mission, which you may be surprised. I thought this would probably be number 1 for me. I do run the Mars Mission News Network. But there is one I think is a little bit more deserving of them to be in the game. Over to the left, I have a couple of different pictures of some of the sets, as you can see. I like them all. I think I own all but Cloud Tank, which I don't know why I don't own that one. It was just still really expensive now. I need to go back and buy it at some point. But I just love the colors of this. I love the whole idea of space mining and running to aliens and having to kind of fight them. All these cool things there. I also loved all the different minifigs. I loved all the different face prints there. There's a bunch of cool ones to take from. I think those are probably my 2 favorite. If they had to pick one, I'd love to see them do one of those 2 in the game. As for weapons, there wasn't too many that the actual astronauts themselves carried besides the vehicles. You did have one little set where he had, over the top right, that little blaster gun. I thought was weird, because all the other guns were more blue, for all the stuff that felt more like I was alien inspired, because that was the color of the alien stuff, and also I guess the crystals. Although I do also like the idea of him just also using a pickaxe. Although it might not be a gun, it might be like a scanner or something. I mean, the robot below does have that, and I guess maybe I should change that now. Just thought of that, just looking at this, I thought it was more of a gun. And then you have the jetpack guy. I would love to see him as some kind of attack animation in the game. Have him like fly up high and just blast the enemy, or blast all the enemies. As for what role I would have them fill in this game, they would probably be an attacker or a support. They just feel like there's so much based around attacking, but they have like so much tech and other stuff with the crystals. I could also see them maybe like boosting some people, maybe lowering some defenses with all the pickaxes, scanning or whatever. I also like that little robot. I'd love to see him somehow in the game. I don't know, maybe send him out there and have him scan all the enemies and inflict vulnerable on them, or remove stealth or something like that. Maybe something else with crystals. I don't know, you could even have him be a healer and do stuff with crystal healing. I don't know, that might be a funny thing to kind of work into the game. I see that being like the name of a skill or something. But I'd probably have them be a little bit more attack focused, or at least making it easier for the allies to attack things. As for tags, of course, space. The tag I like to do of Mars, because there's a whole bunch of things you could actually fit on a Mars team. If you want to do that, they would have more possible options than lots of the other space subtags. Of course, the mining thing I've been talking about. I'm going to make a video on that at some point. Because they, of course, they suddenly did a whole bunch of space mining, as you can see, with a bunch of those vehicles being mining related or transporting for the mining stuff. I don't know, you might come skill and techie, because they did have like, lots of like big tech stuff, but I don't know if that necessarily makes them techie. But those would be kind of the tags that I would see them having. Next up is Space Police. Now, I had a hard time picking here which Space Police to go with. We do have, with the vehicle in-game, I believe that is Space Police 1, the first one, which is the figure there on the left. So I feel like I probably wouldn't add that one to the game, since there's 3 separate Space Police themes. There's Space Police, also known as Space Police 2, and Space Police, also known as Space Police 3. No very unique naming schemes there. The one next to the one on the left, I guess almost kind of the middle, more center left, is the Fig from Space Police 2. I might would go with this one, but personally I just don't really like the figure design. I don't know, it just doesn't scream police to me. I don't know. Personally, I'd probably go with one from Space Police 3, the one upper right. They're more like middle upper right. I like that design a whole lot better. The one on the top right is the like one from Wave 2. That was supposed to be like the special officer. I think it was supposed to be like they did high-speed chases or something, even though the regular officers did all that kind of stuff too. But I just think the regular officer design looks way more cooler. It kind of stands out. I love the torso design there. I think it might be interesting to have them in the game and the set from the first one. And then there's some people really like the second one, but I'm more partial to the first and third, and the first one already has something in the game, so I kind of feel like picking something from the third one. You also have those cool 2 little robots down beneath it, the dog one with like that one missile on its back, and of course that other one, which kind of reminds me of Clockwork's little robot he sends out a little bit, just modified slightly. But I think this really deserves to be in the game, because you have a whole set dedicated to them that does some stuff. It feels like it's set up to do stuff for a Space Police figs to get added into the game. Maybe make a full Justice tag or something like that. You just don't have them. So it's just kind of like lacking. So I feel like they really deserve to be in the game. As much as I like Mars Mission and really want them in the game, I feel like Space Police deserves to be in the game more so. And as for tags, I'd probably do the same tags for all of them. Of course, Space would also tag them as Justice, because they're all officers. Maybe role models, because role models seem to kind of be dedicated to like first responder type people, with a firefighter, a paramedic, and an officer. And I think something about apparently Winston from Ghostbusters was previously a firefighter. I don't know enough of the extra backstory that really wasn't in the movie, or doesn't stand out to me in the movie. So I guess he also qualifies as that, so I can maybe see them getting it here. depending if they want to like kind of stack the stuff. But I think this would be good to make to help fill out a justice tag and maybe add them, change up the spy track, I think spy track 2, a little bit to make it a little bit more synergistic with a space police figure, but there's just currently none in the game right now, so I can see them not currently doing it. As for their roles, I see them being probably all an attacker or support. I don't really see them being a healer. I don't really see them being a tank. I see them kind of like attacking, and that might sound bad, arresting people, do something there, or doing some support stuff to kind of slow them down, depending on how you want to focus it. My own mental image was the Space Police 3's weapons always shot like some ice stuff to kind of freeze the enemies, because they did have Snake at one time still a giant freezing laser from them, and it was the same color as all the other weapons if I'm not mistaken. So I kind of did a little headcanon there. They weren't just shooting everybody, they were shooting them with some freezing stuff to freeze them and then arrest them. So I see them kind of as like a support there by maybe slowing down the enemies or something. Overall, I think this would be a very cool one to see in the game. Lots of different options here with like 4 different styled figs from 3 different themes. But I have to kind of give it hands down to the Generation 1 Space Police Officer, because that just really stands out to me. It's a very cool design, and I would love to see them in the game with some of their sets and all that other kind of stuff, especially those little robots down below. The K9 Cop robot would be very cool. But that's it for me. Who would you want? I would love to hear from you. What are your favorite space humans? How would you rank them? What would you like to see the most? Would you like to see more from another theme? Would you like to see the Space Police 2 minifigure? All that type of stuff. Because there's a whole lot more here to choose from than the aliens, which I have also done. This may or may not go up first. You may not have already watched that one. But there's a whole lot more here to choose from, and there's a whole bunch that I would have loved to see that had to kind of skip over to only do 5. So I would love to hear which ones would be your favorite. Would you go for one that I didn't go for? All that kind of stuff. So until next time, this is Grippy signing off. Goodbye and have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.